The more people know about your plans, your struggles, and your victories, the weaker your position becomes. The Stoics understood a powerful truth: not everything should be shared. What if the reason you're losing peace, focus, and progress is because you're telling too much to the wrong people? Stay with me, because today you'll discover the 10 things Stoics keep private, and why doing the same can transform your life. Before we begin, comment below, "I guard my peace." And if you're ready to build a stronger mind through timeless Stoic wisdom, subscribe to Stoic Ascension and join our growing community. Most people think wisdom is about knowing what to say. Stoics believed wisdom is often about knowing what not to say. In today's world, people share everything. Their goals, their relationships, their money, their next move, and even their deepest struggles are posted for everyone to see. But the Stoics took a different path. They understood that silence is power. Not because they were secretive. Not because they were afraid. But because they knew that unnecessary exposure creates unnecessary problems. Let's explore the first thing you should keep private. Your biggest goals. When you have a major goal, resist the urge to announce it to everyone. Many people get excited and immediately tell friends, family, co-workers, and strangers online. But something strange happens. The more they talk about the goal, the less motivated they become to achieve it. The Stoics focused on action, not announcements. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to spend less time discussing what a good person should be and more time becoming one. A young man once dreamed of opening his own business. He told everyone. Every family gathering became a discussion about his future company. People praised him. They admired his ambition. Months passed. Then years. The business never launched. Meanwhile, another man quietly worked after hours. No announcements. No social media posts. No grand speeches. 3 years later, he opened a successful company. The difference wasn't talent. It was focus. One sought validation. The other sought results. Keep your goals protected. Let success make the announcement. Your next move. Stoics understood the value of strategic silence. Not everyone needs to know what you're planning. When people know your next move, they often offer doubt, criticism, or unwanted opinions. Sometimes they intentionally stand in your way. Sometimes they do it unknowingly. A traveler once prepared to leave his village and seek opportunities in a distant city. He shared his plans with everyone. Many people laughed. Others warned him. Some told him he would fail. The constant negativity slowly weakened his confidence. Eventually, he stayed where he was. Years later, he regretted it. Another traveler quietly packed his belongings and left. He didn't ask for permission. He didn't seek approval. He simply acted. His life changed forever. The Stoic understands that action is stronger than explanation. You don't owe everyone access to your future. Your good deeds. One of the greatest Stoic virtues is humility. If you help someone, help them. Don't turn it into a performance. The modern world encourages public displays of generosity. But true character doesn't need an audience. A wealthy merchant once donated food to struggling families. Every donation came with cameras, announcements, and public praise. Another merchant quietly left food at doorsteps during the night. Nobody knew who was helping. Years later, people discovered the truth. The second merchant earned something far greater than applause. He earned respect. The Stoics believed virtue is its own reward. Do good because it is right. Not because someone is watching. Your financial situation. Money attracts attention. And attention often creates problems. Whether you have little or a lot, broadcasting your finances rarely benefits you. The Stoics valued simplicity. They understood that wealth is not measured by possessions but by freedom from dependence on them. A man won a large sum of money. Excited, he told everyone. Soon relatives appeared with requests. Friends expected favors. Strangers wanted opportunities. His peace disappeared. Another man quietly built wealth over decades. He lived modestly. Most people assumed he was average. When challenges came, he had freedom, security, and options. Because he protected his financial life. Not every detail belongs in public. Privacy creates peace. Your family problems. Every family faces challenges. Arguments happen. Misunderstandings occur. But sharing every family conflict with outsiders often makes things worse. The Stoics encouraged handling problems with wisdom and self-control. A woman argued with her sister. Angry and emotional, she told everyone she knew. Soon friends took sides. Rumors spread. The conflict grew larger than the original disagreement. Months later, reconciliation became difficult. Another woman handled a similar situation differently. She spoke directly to her sister. They discussed the issue privately. The conflict ended quickly. Some battles become bigger because too many people are invited into them. Protect your family's dignity. Not every disagreement belongs in public. Your personal struggles. There is a difference between seeking help and seeking attention. Stoics never pretended life was easy. But they believed in carrying challenges with dignity. This doesn't mean suffering alone. It means being selective about who you trust. A young man experienced failure after failure. Instead of working through his difficulties, he complained to everyone. Each conversation reinforced his identity as a victim. His confidence slowly disappeared. Another man faced similar hardships. He spoke only with trusted mentors. He focused on solutions rather than sympathy. Over time, he became stronger. The challenge wasn't different. His response was, share your struggles with those who can genuinely help. Not with everyone who is willing to listen. Your relationship details. One of the fastest ways to damage a relationship is to expose every detail of it. The Stoics valued loyalty and respect. A relationship should feel safe. Not like a public discussion. A couple seemed perfect online. Every moment was shared. Every argument was discussed with friends. Every achievement was displayed. Behind the scenes, trust slowly eroded. Eventually, the relationship collapsed. Another couple lived differently. They enjoyed their happiness privately. They solved problems privately. They respected each other's boundaries. Years later, their bond remained strong. Not because they had fewer problems. Because they protected what mattered. Some of the most valuable things in life grow best away from public attention. Your secrets to success. When you're building something meaningful, not everyone deserves access to your methods. The Stoics believed in learning from others, but they also understood discretion. A craftsman spent years mastering his skill. Whenever someone asked how he achieved such excellence, he offered guidance but never revealed every detail of his process. He understood that mastery requires effort. Not shortcuts. Meanwhile, another craftsman shared every strategy before achieving real success. Competitors copied his ideas and moved faster than he did. Protect your work. Protect your process. Let your results speak louder than your methods. Your fears. Everyone has fears. Even the strongest individuals. But constantly discussing fears can strengthen them. The Stoics taught that fear often grows through attention. A soldier preparing for battle spent every day talking about everything that could go wrong. His anxiety increased. His confidence disappeared. Another soldier acknowledged his fears but focused on preparation. He trained. He practiced. He improved. By focusing on action instead of fear, he became stronger. Your fears deserve understanding. They do not deserve control. Talk about them when necessary. But don't make them the center of your identity. Your greatest strengths. This may sound surprising. Why keep your strengths private? Because true strength doesn't need constant advertisement. The strongest people in history rarely announced how powerful they were. Others recognized it naturally. A master swordsman entered a competition. Many competitors boasted about their abilities. They talked endlessly about victories and skills. The master remained silent. When the competition began, his actions spoke for him. The crowd quickly understood who possessed real ability. Confidence is quiet. Insecurity is loud. Let people discover your strengths through your behavior. Not through your claims. Your spiritual journey. The final thing Stoics often kept private was their inner journey. Your relationship with wisdom, purpose, faith, and self-improvement is deeply personal. Sharing every lesson can sometimes weaken its impact. A student began studying philosophy. Every day he argued with others about what he had learned. He became obsessed with appearing wise. Another student quietly applied the lessons. He became calmer, kinder, stronger, more disciplined. Years later, people naturally noticed the difference. The first student talked about wisdom. The second became wise. Your spiritual growth is not a performance. It is a transformation. Protect it. Nurture it. Allow it to grow quietly. Conclusion. The Stoics understood something our modern world often forgets. Not everything valuable needs to be shared. Some things become stronger when protected. Your goals. Your plans. Your finances. Your relationships. Your struggles. Your growth. These are not secrets because you're hiding. They are private because they matter. Silence is not weakness. Silence is discipline. Every time you resist the urge to reveal everything, you preserve your energy. You protect your focus. You strengthen your peace. Remember this. A tree grows in silence. A storm arrives with noise. Be like the tree. Steady. Patient. Rooted. Strong. Before you leave, consider one final lesson. Imagine carrying a cup filled to the very top with water. Every unnecessary conversation is a small shake. Every person who doubts you is another shake. Every opinion you absorb is another shake. Soon, the water begins to spill. Your focus disappears. Your confidence weakens. Your direction becomes unclear. This is what happens when you tell everyone everything. The Stoics understood that attention is energy. And energy is one of the most valuable resources you possess. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention is scattered among countless opinions, you will struggle to hear your own inner voice. But when you become more selective about what you share, something remarkable happens. Your mind becomes quieter. Your decisions become clearer. Your confidence becomes stronger. You stop living for approval. You start living according to principles. That is true Stoic power. There is an old story about a sculptor who spent years creating a masterpiece. Every day, people asked him what he was building. He smiled politely but said very little. Months passed. Then years. People became impatient. Some mocked him. Some doubted him. Others lost interest completely. But the sculptor continued working in silence. Finally, one day, he unveiled his creation. The crowd stood speechless. The masterpiece was more beautiful than anyone had imagined. One person asked him why he never spoke about his progress. The sculptor replied, "Because every moment spent talking about the work was a moment not spent doing the work." That lesson applies to all of us. Your life is your masterpiece. Protect it. Build it. Shape it carefully. And don't feel obligated to explain every detail along the way. Many people misunderstand silence. They think silence means weakness. The Stoics saw it differently. They viewed silence as self-control. Anyone can react. Anyone can argue. Anyone can reveal their emotions in the heat of the moment. But it takes strength to remain composed. It takes discipline to keep certain things private. It takes wisdom to know when words are necessary and when silence is more powerful. The next time you're tempted to reveal your plans, pause. Ask yourself, will sharing this help me achieve my goal? If the answer is no, keep working. The next time you're tempted to prove yourself to someone, pause. Ask yourself, do I need their approval? If the answer is no, continue your journey. The next time you're tempted to tell everyone your next move, remember. The eagle does not announce when it is about to fly. It simply spreads its wings. The truth is that not everyone wants to see you succeed. Some people cheer for you only when you're beneath them. Others become uncomfortable when you begin to grow. This is not a reason to become bitter. It is a reason to become wise. The Stoic does not hate people. The Stoic understands people. And because they understand human nature, they move carefully. They share selectively. They trust slowly. They observe more than they speak. That awareness protects their peace. Think about Marcus Aurelius. Despite being one of the most powerful men in the world, he spent much of his life writing private reflections. Those writings eventually became the famous book Meditations. What's remarkable is that he never intended those words for public praise. They were personal reminders. Private conversations with himself. He focused more on improving his character than advertising it. That is why his wisdom has survived for centuries. Not because he sought attention. Because he sought truth. There is a lesson there for all of us. Focus less on being noticed. Focus more on becoming better. As you move forward from this video, remember these simple principles. Protect your goals. Protect your plans. Protect your peace. Protect your relationships. Protect your growth. Not everything needs an audience. Not everything needs validation. Not everything needs approval. Some victories are meant to be won quietly. Some transformations happen best in silence. And some of the strongest people you'll ever meet are the ones who speak the least and accomplish the most. If you're still watching, you're part of a rare group of people committed to self-mastery and personal growth. Comment below. Silence is my strength. I'd love to hear your thoughts and which lesson resonated with you the most. If you've made it this far, here's a lesson that can change the way you see your entire life. Most people believe success comes from doing more. The Stoics believed success often comes from eliminating what is unnecessary. Unnecessary words. Unnecessary arguments. Unnecessary explanations. Unnecessary drama. Think about how much energy people waste every day. They explain themselves to people who have already made up their minds. They argue with strangers. They seek approval from people they don't even respect. They spend hours defending choices that need no defense. Then they wonder why they're exhausted. The Stoic takes a different approach. Instead of asking, how can I make everyone understand me? They ask, why do I need everyone to understand me at all? That single shift changes everything. A wise teacher once had 2 students. The first student talked constantly. Whenever he learned something new, he immediately told everyone. Whenever he had an idea, he announced it. Whenever he made progress, he looked for recognition. The second student listened more than he spoke. He spent his time practicing. Learning. Observing. Growing. Years later, people noticed something. The first student had many conversations about success. The second student had become successful. The lesson was simple. Talking about growth is not the same as growing. Talking about discipline is not the same as being disciplined. Talking about wisdom is not the same as becoming wise. Results come from action, not discussion. One of the greatest traps in modern life is the desire to be seen. People want their meals seen, their workouts seen, their plans seen, their relationships seen, their accomplishments seen. Everything becomes a performance. But the Stoics understood that a life spent performing for others is a life controlled by others. Because when your happiness depends on attention, you become a prisoner of attention. When your confidence depends on praise, you become a prisoner of praise. When your identity depends on approval, you become a prisoner of approval. Freedom begins when you no longer need the crowd's permission to be yourself. That is Stoic freedom. Imagine two fires. One burns loudly. It crackles. It sparks. It attracts attention. But it quickly burns out. The second fire burns steadily. Quietly. Consistently. It lasts through the night. Most people live like the first fire. The Stoic lives like the second. They don't chase attention. They don't seek constant recognition. They simply continue their work day after day. And over time, their quiet consistency produces extraordinary results. There is another reason to keep parts of your life private. Privacy creates mystery. And mystery commands respect. People often value what they cannot fully access. When everyone knows everything about you, there is little room for curiosity. But when you maintain healthy boundaries, people learn to respect your space. This doesn't mean becoming cold or distant. It means understanding that access to your life is a privilege, not a right. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your journey. Some people deserve a seat in the audience. Some deserve a seat at the table. And some should remain outside entirely. Wisdom is knowing the difference. As the Stoics taught, your greatest responsibility is not managing other people's opinions. Your greatest responsibility is managing yourself. Your thoughts. Your actions. Your habits. Your character. The world will always have opinions. Some people will support you. Others will criticize you. Some will misunderstand you completely. You cannot control that. But you can control your response. You can choose peace over drama. Focus over distraction. Action over explanation. Silence over unnecessary noise. One day, at the end of your life, nobody will care how many people approved of your plans. Nobody will care how many arguments you won. Nobody will care how many strangers validated your decisions. What will matter is whether you lived according to your values. Whether you kept your integrity. Whether you built a meaningful life. Whether you became the person you were capable of becoming. That is the standard the Stoics lived by. And it is a standard worth pursuing today. So as you leave this video, remember these words. Move in silence. Work in silence. Grow in silence. Heal in silence. Build in silence. And when success finally arrives, let your results make the noise. Because the strongest tree in the forest did not become strong by announcing its growth. It became strong by growing every day, unseen, through storms, droughts, and seasons of challenge. Be that tree. Let your roots grow deep. Let your mind grow strong. Let your actions speak louder than your words. And trust that what is built in silence often lasts the longest. Thank you for spending this time with Stoic Ascension. If this video inspired you, comment, "I choose silence." Share this message with someone who needs it. And subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more powerful Stoic wisdom, self-discipline lessons, and life-changing insights that help you rise above the noise and master yourself. Until next time, keep your peace, guard your energy, and keep ascending.